In this video, we look at some of the easy questions from CAT 2023 Slot 1 Quant. At this point, some of you would be wondering, hey, what was easy, right? This over here, CAT 2023 Slot 1 or Slot 2 or Slot 3, we all know it was pretty much the toughest in quant we have seen in like what, 5-10 years, right? At least the toughest paper, and you're saying easy questions, right? So how tough was the paper? How tough was the paper? The paper was so tough that you get 9 marks over here, 9 marks over here, which is 3 questions right, 3 questions right, and you're supposed to be getting close to 80th percentile, right? The percentiles are not out yet, but a lot of you would agree, and I mean, the percentile predictors, we know it, it's supposed to be 80 or more than that as well. You get 5 correct over here, and it's supposed to be 15 marks, right? And that is going to be around 90th percentile or way more than that, right? What is this percentile over here? That means 90% of the students are not even able to get 5 questions right over here, right? Is it so bad? Is the paper so tough? Yes, the paper was tough, right? But does it mean that even 5 questions can't be done? Yes, that's because most people over here are unprepared. You're not prepared for this exam, you're not going to score, right? It's as simple as that. So how do you prepare and what was it, right? You'll be surprised over here. I'm going to show you 12 questions, right? So quite easy and quite simple over here. And you get 12 questions right, you're supposed to be 99.5 or 99.7 percentile plus, right? 36 marks over here. Let's look at them. Let's see as to how you could have done that. Again, I'm not saying that anybody is going to go and wing it. You need to practice. You need to prepare, right? This exam is over here to find out people who are not just geniuses. I mean, they're intelligent, but they prepare well, right? As a manager, you can't just be a genius. You have to be hardworking as well, right? We are all looking to get into management. So let's look at the questions, right? First up is a question which some of you will disagree with me, right? You'll say that, hey, what? If x and y are real numbers such that x square plus x minus 2y minus 1 the whole square equals minus 4y into x plus y and blah, blah, blah. How is this easy, right? How can you say this easy? At this point, you should run, right? You should leave this and go, right? I would say it's easy because we did this. Okay? This is something very similar to something which turned up in CAT 2018, slot 2. And we took this up, right? We took this up in our revision videos and it's there for you, right? So the link is there in the description. Just look at that. I'm not going to be solving this. What's the difference between these two? X over here is replaced with U and Y is replaced with V. It's literally the same part till here, right? Till here it's the same. They've asked for X minus 2Y. They've asked for U plus 3V. Does it mean that CAT questions are just going to be repeat of whatever turned up earlier? No, definitely not all of them. Definitely it's going to be very little, right? This is one of those exceptions, right? Why did this happen? How does this happen? It's the way I set papers, I make content, right? For me to do that, I've gone through all the papers which have turned up since CAT 1990 or something like that, which was available. And I've solved all those questions and seen that, this is the pattern which turns up. So the content has to be around that, and that's what I've made at mockat.com, and that's what you have in terms of videos, right? So when you practice quite a bit, right, you'll see that you would come across a lot of these concepts that are turning up. Now that's what an exam setter does as well. I mean, somebody who's setting the paper, they're going to look at, they're not just going to look up in the air and say, hey, these questions, let's just make a question out of this or that concept. They're not just going to imagine things. You're going to solve a few questions, look at past papers, draw inspirations from some questions. And this is one such, right? Where they drew inspiration. Somewhere they might not have changed the numbers, or they have said, okay, let's just give it, right? Paper is supposed to be too tough. Let's give something like this. Now, whoever is better prepared, who practice well, they're going to be scoring well, right? One such question which is straight from the revision. Now, a second question over here, and I'm throwing it to you. And again, a lot of you are going to say, hey, it's a modulus of x, and I have x squared over here, number of integer solutions. Looks so difficult. Yeah, okay. We took this up as well, right? Something like this turned up 4 years earlier, and it's there in our revision files on YouTube. Again, the link is there in the description over here. You can check for the solution over there. I'm not going to be solving this, but the key things for you to note over here is this, right? What is the difference between these two questions? It's not the same. 5x squared is the same. The 2 over here is outside, right? It's you multiply this, it's going to become 2x squared plus 2. Here we have 6x squared plus 1. They're different quadratic equations. Not just that, there's one more trap over here. The number of solutions is what was asked earlier. So the answer over here was 5. Here they've asked for the number of integer solutions. Not only they want you to solve it and find which ones are integers and only mark those. The answer over here was 3 because 2 of the solutions were not integer, right? When you solve them, if I'm not wrong, right? So just check the solution for this. Again, you go through this, it's just in the link below. I'm not going to be solving it right now. And you'll realize that, hey, these, I mean, if I just practice well, I'm going to be in a position to get these right. On to the third question over here, right? A mixture P is formed by removing a certain amount of coffee from a coffee jar and replacing the same amount with cocoa powder. So we had pure coffee and we had one replacement. The same amount is again removed from mixture P and replaced with the same amount of cocoa powder to form a new mixture Q. Two replacements done. The ratio of coffee and cocoa is 16:9, right? 16:9. What is non-replaced is what I asked. The non-replaced over here is coffee, and coffee is, how much is it? 16 by 25, and that is how much? 4 by 5 whole square, right? And that means the non-replaced is becoming 4/5 every time. So there's a decrease of 1/5, right? There's a decrease of 1/5. That's it. With this, we can solve this. What's the ratio of cocoa and mixture P to that in Q? Cocoa is the one which is not coming back, right? Not, coming back, replaced, the other one. So coffee and cocoa over here, we have a total, and total can be taken as 25 itself, right? Parts we can use, and we've seen this in the question. No variables to be used. If 25 was there totally, and entire 25 was coffee initially, right? All of it was coffee, cocoa was 0. And if I'm going to be reducing it by 1/5 or becoming 4/5 every time, 4/5 of this or 1/5 reduction becomes 20. 1/5 of this is nothing but 4. Again, you reduce, you become 16. That's how you're getting 16 out of 25 finally, which means the remaining is going to be cocoa, right? Remaining is cocoa everywhere. Note that, replacement is happening. The total never changes, right? Again, I'm not going to get into the depths of it. It's all covered in our lessons and classes, and we've seen all of these, right? So this is after, P and Q. Ratio of cocoa and mixture P to Q, 5:9, right? Option 2 becomes the answer. No step marks over here, right? Not like our school exams where we write detailed steps, simple ways in which you need to write it down. Again, now you might be wondering, hey, something like this came up earlier. Yes, right? A couple of years earlier, 2021 slot 2. Now, what came up over here? It all looks totally different. You have 9 liters, 9 liters. Yes, the key things, the underlying concepts are the same. You had 16:9 finally, and you had two replacements over here as well, right? Two times you replace, you're getting 16:9 finally. Now, what they're asking over here is what is the capacity of the container? With 16:9, I know that it's a decrease by 1/5 every time. And what was replaced every time? 9 liters was replaced, right? So 1/5 over here is 9 liters. What's the full capacity of the container? If 1/5 is 9 liters, the full capacity is going to be 45 liters. Again, you can refer to the video. I put that up in the description. 3 questions here, right? You practice well. You look at the past questions well. You're going to be finding pretty easy questions over here to pick up. Is there a fourth one? Yes, let's look at it. Arvind travels from town A to town B and Surbi from town B to town A. Okay, both started at the same time along the same route. After meeting each other, Arvind takes 6 hours to reach town B, but Surbi takes 24 hours to reach town A. And what did we have? We had something like this, and we took it up in our time and speed revision as well. Your fourth question. How similar is it? A straight road connects points A and B. Car 1 travels from A to B. Here we had R1 traveling from A to B. Car 2 travels from B to A. Surbi traveling from B to A. Both starting at the same time along the same road, right? And both leaving at the same time. After meeting each other, R1 takes 6 hours to reach town B and so on, right? It's 45 and 20 minutes over here. A simple thing, simple way to solve. The time taken to meet over here is nothing but the root of AB. It's there in our lesson, it's there in this video. We've seen all of these, right? Again, the video for this is there in the description below. We had solved this before the exam. Doing these itself is going to put you in a pretty good position. Root of 144 is 12 hours to meet. What's asked over here? Arvind traveled at a speed of 54 kilometers per hour. What's the distance, right, between A and B? How much did Arvind cover? Now, 12 hours to meet, and then he took 6 hours more. Plus 6 is coming to 18. That's the total time for Arvind at 54 kilometers per hour. 18 into 54. 54 into 20 is 1080. 1080 minus 108 will come to 972. You can use the calculator as well and solve for it, right? If car 1 travels at the speed of 60 kilometers per hour, the speed of car 2, they've asked for the other car speed. They've not asked for the distance over here. Slight differences finally, but the underlying concept is the same. Time taken to meet is what you have to use, and this formula is what you have to use. So those were my 4 questions, which were pretty much directly from the revision files, right? But I'm going to continue, right? Now this one over here is not from my YouTube revision files, but from something which is turned up in the past questions. I've given it to all my students and we have practiced it, right? Now, this looks so difficult again, very difficult, right? Did we have something like this earlier? Yeah, it was an IFT paper, right? Not in CAT 2023, but IFT, and we had something very similar, right? The 4 over here is 5. The output over here is different. Then they ask me for the value of x. We need to find root of 10x plus 9, right? Now, how do we solve for this? You see two square roots, you square on both sides and all, it's going to lead to something quite difficult, right? Don't get into that. Now, a question like this, the second one, in fact, you can just substitute over here and solve for it and quickly answer. That's the easiest way, right? That's the easiest way. Now, a question like this, you can't substitute and do, right? Let's see as to why I'm saying this is easy and how it should have been done and how it was done, all right? Now, what do we have over here? Root of 5x plus 9 plus root of 5x minus 9 equals 3 times 2 plus root 2. It's a surd, right? It's a surd finally. And what is a surd if you multiply? You're going to get 6 plus 3 root 2, right? 6 plus 3 root 2. And 6 plus 3 root 2, if I'm going to multiply over here and expand, one of them is 6, the other is 3 root 2. Has to be that way, right? Two square roots. If 6 is to be written in the square root form, 6 is nothing but root of 36. And 3, if I take it inside, root of 3 square into 2 is going to be root 18. Which is bigger of the two? This is bigger. 5x plus 9, the other 5x minus 9. So this has to be 36. And this has to be 18. If this is 36, then what plus 9 is 36? 27 plus 9 is 36. Does that mean 27 minus 9 is coming to 18? Yeah, it works out. That's it. That means 5x over here is 27, right? Write it down. 5x is 27. X over here is 27 by 5. They're asking for this value, root of 10x. 10 times this, okay, plus a 9, cancel. 54 plus 9, root of 63. 63 over here, root 63 is not there. 3 times root 31, no, tempting, but yeah. 63 is nothing but 9 into 7, right? 9 into 7, which is 3 root 7. Option 2 over here becomes the answer. So 5 questions over here, if you just would have practiced, the past questions well, right? But I told you there are a total of 12. Now we're going to continue on to the other questions, which were covered in the lessons, the concepts, the practice, and all of that, right? So if you do those, you would have found this paper quite easy. Okay, so now we have a question around permutations and combinations, right? Permutations, combinations, my lessons at mockat.com, that's one of the longest, right? It's about 6 to 7 hours or probably more than that as well, right? Because there are so many concepts over there and I've covered all of them in a comprehensive manner. Supposed to be one of my best lessons I've made over there, right? But I've told students time and again, PNC, you'll get only 1 or 2 questions. But if it's an easy question, you have to give it a go, right? Why would you want to miss out on those 3 marks, easy 3 marks? This is one such question. The number of all natural numbers, right, up to 1000. That means 1 to 1000, right? With non-repeating digits, they don't want digits repeated. Use blanks. You have 3-digit numbers, you have 2-digit numbers, you have 1-digit numbers, right? Use the blanks. That's it. You don't want repeating. And what do we know over here? Cannot be a 0. So 9, right? 9 digits. 1 to 9 is possible. You filled up 1, it can't repeat. So remaining 9, 0 can come this time around. 2 digits are filled up, you're left with 8. So 9 into 9 into 8, right? So that's going to be 81 into 8, 648, right? 80 into 8 is 640, and then 8 into 1 is 8. And then some more, right? At this stage, there's only one which is more than that. Option 2 has to be the answer. We can verify as well. 9 into 9 over here, right? So the last one is a 1 digit, sorry about that. And 1 digit over here, from 1 onwards, 1 to 9, all of them non-repeating. So 81 and 9 over here. 90 plus 648 comes to 738. That's your answer. Question 7, right? So cover in the time and speed lesson, the clocks chapter, clocks module over there, right? So what is this, right? So the minor angle between the hours hand and minutes hand of a clock was observed at 8:48 a.m. Okay, so 8:48 a.m. over there, and it's going to be something like this. The minutes hand would have gone past 45, right? It's a little up, and hour hand over here, right? Okay. Um, the minor angle over here was observed. The minimum duration minutes after 8:48 a.m. After this time, when this angle increases by 50%, right? It has to go up by 50%. It's only going to increase after that. Okay, what's this angle going to be? I've said from a 12 o'clock position, what's going to be for the hour hand over here? What's the angle? It's going to be 8 into 30, 240 plus 48 into 0.5, right? So 30 into this, 0.5 into this, that's the speed at which the hour hand is going to move 0.5 degrees every minute and 30 degrees in every full hour, right? So again, refer to the lesson at mockat.com. Just sign up with at Mockat in case you haven't, right? So just go through some of the concepts. In case you're interested in signing up for the classes, please do, right? 240 plus 24 over here, and that's coming to 264. The minutes hand over here is going to move by how much? Every minute, it's going to be 6 degrees. So it's simply 6 into 48 over here. And 15 to 6 is 300, 2 to 6 is 12, subtract, you get 288. The difference between these two, that's my angle, 24 degrees, that's 24, right? If this 24 has to increase by 50%, half of it, increase by half of it, all right, that's 12 degrees. So on a 12-degree increase, how long is it going to take? Now, in 1 minute, what is going to be the increase in angle, right? The minute hand goes up by 6, this gets closer by 0.5. We know it's 5.5 degrees, right? Increase by 6, increase by 0.5, the change in angle is 5.5, right? We've seen these. Then when does it become 12 degrees, right? If they are directly related, I've said don't use a variable and all of that. Product of the known diagonal, 1 into 12 divided by opposite value, 5.5. 12 by 5.5, fractions are there, multiply and divide by 2. You're going to get 24 by 11, right? Option 3 becomes the answer here. Now, a lot of people said in this paper, arithmetic was tough and tough and tough. Well, I mean, it wasn't tough, right? It was just a little long-winded. If you're patient, you go through it, you should be fine. The salaries of 3 friends, Sita, Geeta and Meeta over here are initially in the ratio 5, 6, 7. The first year, they get salary hikes of 20, 25 and 20% respectively. Okay, and second year, Sita and Meeta, they got something. Salary of Geeta becomes equal to the mean of the 3 friends. Okay, salary of Geeta is nothing but the mean of the 3 friends. Now, mean of all 3, if you're the average of all 3, you're simply the average of the other 2, right? If you're the average of all 3, you're the average of the other 2. We've seen this in some concept video, I think around, I mean, one of the LR questions as well, right? So where we ended up using it, CAT 2018, if I'm not wrong, covered it in the 2024 class recently as well, right? So if you're the average of 3 friends, average of 3 numbers is you and you're present there, your average of the other 2, right? That's it. If you remember that, it's going to be very quick. So 5, 6 and 7, and that's going to be S, G and M, right? You were 500, take 500, 600, 700. Never use variables in these questions, I've said that, right? Everything is in percentage terms, no absolute value. Don't use variables and waste time. 500 goes up by 20%, 1/5 becomes 600. 25%, 1/4 it goes up, becomes 750, 150 more. This is going up by 1/5, becomes 840, 140 you increase. This is after, this is year 1. Now year 2, what's happening over here? I have for Sita and Meeta, first and last, 40% increase, 4, 6 are 24, right? 240 more, and that's coming to 840, 25%, 1/4 of this. 1/4 is going to be 210. 210 increase is going to come to 1050. The average of these two has to be Geeta. So 1050 plus 840 is 1890. 1890 and you divide and you get by 2, you get 945, right? 945 over here. What's the increase, right? That's what is our salary hike of Geeta, 750 to 945. In the second year is going to be what? Increase of 195. So 195 divided by old value, 750 over here into 100%, right? 195 by, okay, so 15 multiple, 13 15s are 195. You practice the tables which I've told you, you're going to be quick. Divide by 15, that's going to be 50. Yeah, cancel over here, you get a 2. 13 2s are 26%. Option 4 is the answer here. Another arithmetic question, which a lot of people were saying was difficult, but it's actually easy, right? What do we have here? 20%, 10%, all of that. Percentages, no absolute value, right? You're going to find this easy again once you prepare well. Huh? Once you prepare and you work with these questions. It's not like, you just pick it up and you immediately get it. Geeta sells 2 objects, A and B, at the same price. Okay, the selling price is the same, such that she makes a profit of 20% on object A and a loss of 10% on object B. So the cost price, the loss of 10% is where I started in the exam, right? So if this is going to be 100, what's the selling price over here for object B? 10% less, 90 rupees. The selling price is the same for both, right? Same selling price, 90 over here as well. But here I know there was a profit of 20%, right? This went up by 20%. 20% is what? 1/5. So if this was 5 parts, this is 1 part, and this is going to be 6 parts. 6 parts is 90, right? One part is 15. Subtract that and you get 75 over here is the cost price, right? 75 is the cost price and 15 rupees is the profit. So you practice these, you won't even be writing all of this. 1/5 more is 90. So 6 parts is 90, one part is 15. Subtract and you get 75. Practice, right? I'm not saying you just sign up for classes and get going and you're going to do it. No, you need to practice the right way. And if you're interested in guided coaching, that's what we do. Do sign up over here at Mockat. Yeah. SP2 over here, selling price 2 over here, what is that going to be? What have they said over here? She increased the selling price such that objects A and B are still sold at equal price, still equal, and a profit of 10% is made on object B. So on object B, cost price was 100, 10% profit makes it 110. Selling price is still the same for both, right? That's what was given. Then the profit made on object A will be nearest to what? What is the profit on object A? 75 is being sold for 110. It's an increase of 25 plus 10, 35. That's the profit percentage divided by cost price, 75. And you divide, you're going to get 7 by 15. 7 by 15 is a percentage. Gone through our percentages lesson, you'll be able to quickly answer it's 46.6666, so 67%. Right? The nearest over here is option 1, 47%, or multiply with 100%, use the calculator, you get the same. Now, this is a question, right? It was interesting because I did not do this in the exam, right? It's a different story, a long story. There was a catch over here for me. We'll look at it up, look at it in a different video, all right? Now, this particular one was easy and a lot of our students actually did this, right? Which is good, and they got back as well. And here have I discussed, palindrome or palindromic kind of questions. The one or two which came up in the past, right? Past papers. But are they expecting you to know the word palindromic? No. Am I saying that, specifically this particular one, I have a certain concept? No. But they simply used the one thing which I told them to do. You have options, you can substitute and solve it, and you'll get it, right? And surprisingly, I didn't do this as well, right? So let's see. Drishti went on an 8-hour trip in a car. Before the trip, the car had traveled a total of X kilometers till then, where X is a whole number and is palindromic, right? That is what has been covered before the 8-hour trip, right? X kilometers and it's palindromic. X remains unchanged when its digits are reversed. They've explained it, right? What is it? You reverse the digits, you flip it, the value is the same. At the end of the trip, the car had traveled a total of 26862 kilometers till then. This number again being palindromic, they've given you an example also. They're not expecting you to know the meaning of this word. How is this palindromic? Reverse it, you get 26862 in reverse order also. That is the meaning of palindromic. If Brishti never drove at more than 110 kilometers per hour, which was absolutely unnecessary for this question, then the greatest possible average speed at which she drove during this trip in kilometers per hour was what they gave you answer options. They decided to make life easy for you, right? Never drove at more than 110 kilometers per hour is not required for this question because it's there in the options over here, right? What is the greatest possible average speed over here at which she drove during this trip? You just need to substitute and close it out. Now, X plus the kilometers in the trip, right? Whatever she covered in the trip is going to give us what? Total. And what is the total? 26862, right? 26862 over here. And how much was covered in the trip? The trip was for 8 hours over here. At what speed? If it was 8 hours at 110 over here, it was 880. Something plus 880 is this. If I subtract this, is it going to work out? You would note that for 100, it works out perfectly. You get rid of your hundreds place. The number is still palindromic, right? How? If it was 100 kilometers per hour for 8 hours, it's going to be 8 into 100, 800 kilometers covered. Something plus 800 kilometers is 26862. Remove 800 from here, you get 26062. The number is palindromic. Read it in reverse order, you get the same number again. So therefore, 100 kilometers per hour is the answer, and that's it. This is all you need. These are the steps. Would you get these in school exams? No, right? A lot of you would be like, hey, all these time and speed and all are like easy. We've done this in school. It's so easy and all of that. Correct, right? They're going to have some twists. A lot of them are quite easy. It looks difficult. That's it. It's not going to be at a school level. No step marks like you had in school, right? You need to be as quick as possible with the quickest approaches. So prepare well, right? Guided preparation does help a lot. Okay, so this is the question for you. I mean, it's quite simple again. And this is the question. As I said, I missed out. On to question 11. I'm not saying that, it's something you can answer very quickly. It takes a bit of time. But It's quite simple, right? So sum of roots, product of roots, anybody, right? Not just me, everybody who has content is going to be stating this. So you had this in school as well. Let alpha and beta be the two distinct roots of this particular one, such that alpha plus beta and alpha beta are the distinct roots of some other equation. Okay, then alpha plus beta is going to be sum of the roots over here, which is nothing but minus b by a, minus of minus 6 by 2 is coming to plus 3. And what is the other one? Product of roots, alpha beta, so k by 2 over here, right? These two are the roots for this particular one, right? Then the value of 8 into k minus p is what I have to solve for k and p, okay? And this is k over here, badly written. And again, use sum of roots. They've given you the clue, sum and product of roots over there by giving it over here itself. What's the sum of roots of this particular equation over here? Minus p by 1, right? That's the sum of roots over here. And sum of roots over here, 3 plus k by 2. 3 plus k by 2, right? 3 and k by 2 are the roots. Now, what's the product of roots over here for the second equation over here? It's going to be c by a, which is p by 1, which is p itself. And that's what? Product of the two roots, 3 into k by 2. Now, p is 3k by 2. I can substitute over here. And what do I get? Minus 3k by 2, right? Minus p is minus 3k by 2 equals 3 plus k by 2. Take the k by 2 to the side, you get minus 4k by 2 or minus 4k by 2, which is nothing but minus 2k equals 3. So k over here is nothing but minus 3 by 2. You found k, which is minus 3 by 2. Then what is p going to be? P is going to be 3 by 2 into k. 3 by 2 into this. 3 by 2 into minus 3 by 2, which is minus 9 by 4. You got the 2. You just need to find 8 into k minus p. K over here is minus 3 by 2, which is writing fast. Handwriting is quite bad. And you get a minus of minus 9 by 4, but you have to be careful with these lot of minuses over here, right? And this is going to become a plus, minus into minus. So 3 by 2 is nothing but 6 by 4, right? Multiply and divide by 2. What is 9 minus 6? That is going to be 3. Denominator is 4. Cancel this over here, and you get a 6 out of it. It's an easy question. It takes time, right? But I would still put it under easy. These are the questions you should have done. Now the last question over here, which I want to discuss. There were more as well, right? But these are the 12 which I wanted to present. And a total of 22 questions over there. Some were tough, I'm not saying no, right? Let's look at the last one over here. If x and y are positive real numbers such that log of something to the base x equals 4 and 3 times this equals 1. Direct exact question from the past, no, as I said, right? So nobody is going to be giving you the exact same paper. Some questions could end up that way. But if you practice the past concepts, these are the similar concepts we've been doing it. We've been having it in our lessons, our practice questions, our speed concepts. You should be able to get these, right? So the first one, I have to solve and find x value over here. I note that they are positive real numbers, both x and y, right? I have to be as well because they are sitting in the basis. They needn't have even given us that. Okay, so what do you have over here? So x square plus 12 equals, if the x goes up, 4 goes up, and you get x power 4. This is what we write if you know the concepts. So x power 4 minus x square minus 12 equals 0. And it's a quadratic in the form x square minus 4 into x square plus 3, right? Don't waste time with unnecessary steps. X square can be 4 or minus 3, but a square can't be negative. X square is 4, x has to be plus or minus 2, but it's going to be only plus 2 because it has to be positive sitting in the base. Okay, x is 2. Now what is y going to be from this particular one? Here I can take the 3 inside and make it a log x cube, right? Log concepts. So x cube is going to be equal to, take this here and you get y. If y is x cube and x is 2, then y is going to be 2 cube, which is 8. That's it. X is 2, y is 8. 2 plus 8 over here is 10, option 1. Once again, in case you like this video, please do hit the like button and do subscribe to our channel in case you haven't, and do sign up at Mockat, right, to explore and see as to what's available. We do have full-fledged CAT classes happening over here, right? So it's online over here. 150 plus hours of video lessons we have, 2,400 plus practice runs, a bunch of things, right? Unlimited speed over here. and speed concepts especially, right? So where we're covering the different types of quant questions which can turn up, and it's the bridge between knowing the lesson and applying it and getting the answers, right? The speed concepts was opened up for CAT 2023 as well, right? So this is something which is going to be which has been very useful, and please do make use of this, right? Every lesson you have a lot of questions, about 20 to 30 questions, right? Which is going to be very pointed and targeted. And you get those right, then you're in the CAT mindset, right? So you have POVs, which have not added over here. There's so much more. Any of you interested in CAT guided coaching for the 2024, 2025, whichever it is, right? Do sign up over there, or you can also call up. Also, you can reach us on 9600 121 800, right? And discuss with us and see as to what suits you. Do prepare, right, in a sensible manner, and you should be able to crack this exam. Once again, right? So what's this exam about? It's about good preparation. You prep well, and what is prep well? Not just watching some videos and remembering. You need to practice well, go through the guided, coaching if possible. Understand as to how we get these questions so easily, and we were able to ace this, right? And take up verbal as well. Sanjana will be making a video on that, and that's where she got about 15 out of 16 questions right in RC, right? Accuracy is really high. The POVs which we have over the point of view and stuff, right? How is that helping us? In case you're interested in coaching to get directly coached by us, do sign up as well.